What's going on, YouTube? It's me, Pirate Chicken, and I'm back with another video. Yeah, it's time for another story. Today you will be joining me for my recent creation that I wrote a month ago, 2 months ago. It's called Cards. So let me jump into it. Using Screencastomatic for the recording, and make sure you leave a like and subscribe to the video. And let's hop into it. Full house, chuckled the beggar. You lose, sir, again. Leo flung his cards on the table. They landed near the ale horn, revealing a weak set of 2 5s and an assortment of royals, none of which of the same uniform. Frustrated, he took a long swing from the horn, then flung it behind his back, rejoicing at the sound of glass shattering on the wall behind him and the surprised yells of the commoners. They were used to his fits, though. Leo had a soiled reputation of not being very good loser in poker. He showed that now to the beggar by rising up and unsheathing his 2 feet-long blade, Ariel. The blade was rumored to have been oiled with the blood of those killed. Such tales amused Leo, who knew of their accuracy. His father had not allowed him to mention of the blade's ceremonious bloodbaths, however. Leo was still young. He didn't want to repel the people simply because his blade was blood-soaked. "Impossible!" he roared at the tattered man. The blade glinted under the torchlight around them, a blinding light in the soft darkness of the pub. Leo gripped it with his left hand, as he often did when he was drunk. Usually, however, it was because his right hand was occupied with a beer mug or a wineskin. Now it was because his right hand was itching furiously behind his back. As the man continued to collect the cards in a neat pile, and paid no mind to the crazy prince, Leo turned to those seated around him. "Fools!" he boomed, his voice thick with alcohol. "Can't you see? This witch-born idiot is stealing my money, in the bright of the day, no less." He hiccuped. "Wait, never mind, it's nighttime." His audience began turning towards him. He thought he saw an excitement in their eyes, so he continued. "I, your beloved prince, am being robbed. Robbed, I say, by a beggar, no less." Echoes of agreement could be heard from the people. The dim torchlight flickered on their faces, the shadows dancing between a man and his mate. Leo lifted his sword. "Have you anything to say, beggar?" he asked. "Sorry, sir," or "Here's your money back, sir," might award you a quick death. Else, flaying it is for you. Leo saw no reaction from the beggar. The old man sat on his twisted wooden chair, rocking back and forth. The pipe at his mouth gave off a sour-sweet smoke, causing Leo's eyes to water. His cards collected, the beggar now placed the pile in a pocket somewhere in his worn-out robe of patches and dirt. His twisted beard and unshaven charcoal hair made his pitiful stature seem befitting. Yet his eyes, Leo has been trying to avoid those for the duration of every match. His eyes seemed to know everything there is to know. They were golden, and their gaze was sharper than the edge of naked steel. The torchlight danced across them, revealing folds and shades in the irises that Leo has never seen before. The beggar's expression remained neutral, his eyes fixated on the clouds of smoke he was puffing at the ceiling. To Leo's dismay, the man didn't seem scared. He seemed relaxed. Leo was not relaxed. He threw the table to the side, his eyes burning with intoxication and rage. A sound of more glass shattering filled the suddenly quiet room, as the beggar's beer, bought with Leo's own money, spilled across the crooked floor. It flowed between the cracks in the pavement. The large stones beneath his feet would be a dark yellow tomorrow, knew Leo. "Do you hear me, old man?" bellowed Leo. "Will it be decapitation or skinning for you?" The beggar took the pipe out of his mouth. With a sigh, he placed it back in his robe and finally spoke. "The name's the Collector, my lord." The following happened so fast that Leo had no time to react. Out of the robe, the beggar drew a card, an ace of spades. The beggar gripped it between 2 fingers and flung it at Leo. Spinning through the air, the card met Leo's forehead before anyone could rise in alarm. It dug itself into Leo's skull, arriving cleanly out of the other side of his head with a gleam of blood and brains. The drunk lordling fell to his knees, his sword clattering to the ground. His slim body hit the floor with a thunk, a mop of dirty golden curls atop a lifeless figure. The other people returned to their conversations, pretending to ignore the series of events that just took place. The beggar, now publicly known as the collector, walked over to the other side of the motionless room and pulled his card out of the thick oaken wall. A deep gash remained in the wood after the card was removed, matching the one in Leo's brow. The collector wiped the blood off the card. His eyes shone as he observed the beautiful workmanship done on it. Its edges were sharp as a knife, cut out to perfection. The prince never noticed, though. He was too busy clambering in his cups, searching for the old man's attention. Yet the collector knew the prince was all but playing the game. The alcohol, the yelling, all to distract him from his hand, from the bet in place, all to muck up his focus. Or so he believed. A game of cards can be deadly if you lack attention, he remembered as he walked over the body and towards the fallen table. He lifted it easily, placing it back in its place near the fireplace, which warmed the pair before the little hours of the night came by. Now it burned red and black, the embers being the only hint that there was ever a fire there. He left 3 silvers on the table, a third one to pay for the uninvited spurt of violence. After looting the dead prince, he exited the pub into a dark alley. A pair of shop buildings towered to both sides of the miserable pub, yet the place indeed was popular. It was also an easy way for the collector to fish for royal money and competition. One's skill must be honed to perfection, young one, no matter how sharp they seem to already be. The master's voice still echoed between his ears. The collector took the pile of cards out of his robe and let his hungry eyes rest on the sight of his weapons. He has managed to collect 8 and 10 so far, most of them simple number cards. He did have 3 royals, though. They served him nice in less politically complex situations. He also had the ace of spades, his trusty companion. The collector pulled it out of the pack and stared at it again. Showing no trace of the recent incident, the intricate designs on the cards still amazed him, leaving him standing in the middle of the roadway and wondering of the origins of such piece of art. 34 cards left. The collector played with that thought for a while, throwing a 7 of hearts in front of him and holding his hand up. The card flew forward, then spiraled back and returned to the collector's waiting hand. 34. Whistling and flinging his 7 hearts ahead of him, the collector began walking away from the murder scene. People were already flocking the pub, he noticed, even at this late hour. He heard distant hooves, heavy, echoing clicks, the footsteps of police stallions. He turned away and began walking, whistling louder and louder. Only 34 to go. That's it. This was Cards. I wrote that in February of this year. Just so you all know, I am 15. And if you are interested in, leaving a comment, liking the video, I would appreciate it. Writing is something that I greatly enjoy, and I hope to bring joy to other people by sharing with them my abilities. So don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, all the normal stuff. Check out Screencastomatic. I have the link. I should have the link to it in the description. And yeah, have a dope day. See y'all later from your boy, Chicken Pirate.